Are you trying to start an email list from scratch? If so, this video is for you. Hey everybody, Michael here from The Market Vibe. So you always hear people say the money's in the list, you gotta have an email list. But I know a lot of people still in 2021, 2022 don't have an email list. And so it's not a reason to freak out, but you definitely need to start one. And so I wanna give you the 5 kind of things to think about, ways to really help yourself when it comes to building your email list. We've built an email list from scratch to over 10,000 people. We've helped a client build it from 0 to 100,000. And so there are little tips and tricks that I can give you to kind of help you, things to think about, so that to make sure that you're really thinking about long-term, the reasons that you're building an email list, and you make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. So the very first thing you want to think about, and I kind of mentioned it before, is you want to think long-term. And so what are you building this list for? What is it that you do in business? Are you planning on transitioning, teaching other things? Because the last thing that you want to do is build an email list for a year and then say all of a sudden you switch niches. So you did this and now you do that, because now you have a year's worth of emails that people might unsubscribe to you because they subscribe to you for a certain type of content. And so you really have to think, what is the plan long term? You want to think about, okay, what do I want to do with this email list a year, 2 years, 5 years from now? What type of value do I want to provide? What type of relationships, community building? You really want to have a long-term plan rather than just, I'm going to send out an email a week and every 4th email I'm going to try and sell something. That's not a long-term plan. You really need to understand, almost like a funnel, how are you leading people through your email list? How are you building community? What are you trying to teach them? What's their long-term plan? If I'm on your email list for 2 or 3 years, what should I be learning? How should I feel at the end of those 3 years? What should I have accomplished? So really think about the long-term plan before you even start building your email list. So the second thing you're going to want to think about is, well, how am I going to actually get emails? And you hear people, the common thing is a freebie. Now, I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction and say you should give away something for free, but I'm not going to say it should be a PDF or an ebook. I actually think, because of how powerful video is in short form video, I think that you should do a video series, maybe a 3-part video series, each video being 2 to 5 minutes, explaining something about what it is that you do. So if us social media marketing, I could do a 3-part series on, hey, here's how we grew 1 million impressions on Pinterest in 3 months. And so the first video would be how we set up our Pinterest account. The second one would be how often we post and what content we post. And then the third would be long-term scalability. And so that would be something we'd package together, give for free in exchange for an email. And that's a really great way to build your email list very, very quickly. And so you can put that up on your link tree, on Instagram, on Pinterest. You can link every single link to it. You can link it on your blog. And so really the foundational thing is, after you come up with that long-term plan, is figuring out what sort of free offer or resource do you want to offer that really helps people get a win. And I would suggest, honestly, a video series. The third thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to utilize your website. And so if you've done proper SEO, if you've built a great website, then chances are you get a steady flow of consistent traffic to your website. Well, what a great way to put a pop-up there and say, hey, the pop-up comes up, I've got an offer, a free offer for you to download this video series that'll help you do X, Y, and Z. Well, that's really great if people are on your website, because they're already looking for information, whether it's a product service that you offer. So having that video series that kind of complements whatever it is they're looking at on your homepage is a really great way to get those foundational emails, because honestly, the people that visit your website, those are the most interested in what it is you have to offer, because most people just stay on your social media, but to take that extra step to then go to your website, that really shows someone who's invested. So those are really the people that you want to build that foundational sort of email list from, is those really hardcore community members that really love what it is that you do. These last 2 are honestly the ways that we were able to grow email lists so quickly. And so the 4th one is collaborations, and specifically the ones that we did were podcasts. And so when you go on someone's podcast, it's kind of a unspoken rule that you come with something to offer their audience. And so when we go on podcasts, at the end they'll be like, thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? And honestly, a lot of people use that to pitch some sort of course or sales or something like that. We don't. We say, well, thank you so much. As a thank you to all your listeners and to you, we actually have a free 3-part video series on how we were able to grow on Pinterest 1 million impressions in 3 months. We could charge for it, but we don't want to. We just want to give this away as a thank you, to your audience members and to anybody who wants it as a free resource. We would get so many people DMing us from the podcasts saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you gave away this for free. Usually people come on and just try and sell something at the end. And so it's really a different way to kind of build that personal brand. They're expecting you to sell, but then you give away something that's so valuable. Plus, podcasts are just a great way to expose yourself and get attention and awareness anyways. And so really think about collaborating on things like podcasts, on Instagram posts, other ways that you can collaborate and then use that to dole out your freebie and to build your email list. All right, you guys, so the last one I want to talk about is giveaways and strategic giveaways, not just trying to rope everybody in that you can, because here's the thing. You don't want emails that are pointless, just like you don't want followers on Instagram that aren't niche specific. You want your ideal audience everywhere on your social media and especially on your email list, because you're building community with these people for years, and these are going to be people that most likely you try and sell your products or services. But if they're not even interested in what it is you're selling, you basically have a dead email list. And so when I talk about doing strategic giveaways, if I had a 3-part video series on how to grow 1 million impressions on Pinterest, maybe I give away a free year's worth of Tailwind. And if you're not sure what Tailwind is, it's actually the scheduling app tool specifically for Pinterest. So maybe I give away Tailwind for a year. Hey, we're just going to give you away $500 or, whatever the equivalent of a year's worth of Tailwind would be. Well, that totally makes sense within the freebie that I'm offering. And a year's worth of Tailwind, I don't know a business owner who wouldn't be like, yeah, I could use that. And so really when you're thinking about doing a giveaway, really think about, okay, what's my free offer? Okay, now what's something that I could offer as a giveaway that would complement that really, really well? And so like I was explaining in our example, if we had a 3-part Pinterest series on how to grow 1 million impressions, well, obviously offering something like Tailwind for a year for free for a business owner is something that complements that very well. So really just think about those 2 things and how you can use those to grow your list. All right, you guys, so I want to break down the 5 things that you want to think about when you're growing your email list from scratch. So the first thing is you're going to want to think about, what's the plan long term? Why am I building this list? What am I going to want to do with this list a year, 2, and 5 years from now? The second thing you want to do is think about what sort of free resource you can offer. And honestly, I would suggest a video series, but honestly, you could do a PDF, ebook. There's tons of different options. So just really think about what is the free resource that you can create that'll get your ideal audience the biggest wins. Third thing you're going to want to do is add a pop-up to your website. Make it on your homepage and make it something that already makes sense if they're reading the copy on your homepage. That pop-up will just add more value to whatever it is on your homepage as far as your free offer goes. The fourth thing is look for ways to collaborate, whether it's podcasts, it's takeovers, social media posts, any way that you can get your freebie out there to other people's audience to plug in, especially at the beginning, because it can be really hard to grow it organically by yourself. And then the last thing is think about doing strategic giveaways. So, if you have a product or service, what can you offer as a giveaway that would complement that really, really well? Or can you, even if you have a product or service, can you give away that product or service and just say, hey, normally I charge X amount, but I'm just going to give this away to anybody who all you have to do is just sign up for my email list. Giveaways are a crazy powerful way to grow your email list. Just make sure you're doing it in a strategic way. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this email list from scratch video. If you have any questions about starting an email list, how to grow your email list if you've already got one, drop them in the comments below. But until next time, see you guys later.